Hey guys. So, as you know, before schools closed and everything, we started reading our book called The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. By the way, if you hear Jackson crying or moving around in his crate in the background, I apologize because he was trying to eat pillows and things before, so he had to go on his crate just so that I could make videos. But like I said, we were reading The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis before we left for school. So I think we had read chapters 1 through 7, so we were almost halfway through the book before we got cut short. So, since it's been such a long time that you guys have heard me read the book or read along with me through the book, I am going to go through and kind of give a breakdown summary of each chapter. So, with my handy dandy Spark Notes off to the side, I am going to read you an in depth summary of each chapter. So, if you don't remember exactly what happened, here's a nice refresher for you. So, on chapter 1, was called Lucy Looks into a Wardrobe. Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy Pevensie are four siblings who have been sent to the country to escape the air raids of World War II. They stay with Professor Kirk, an eccentric but kind of old man who resides in a house filled with twists, turns, and surprises. On their first day in the country, it rains, so the Pevensies decide to explore the house. As they explore, they discover a spare room that is completely empty, except for a large wardrobe. Peter, Susan, and Edmund leave the room, but Lucy stays behind to look inside the wardrobe. Surprised when the wardrobe door opens, Lucy steps inside the enormous closet to find a snowy wood at the back of it. Intrigued, she explores the wood, knowing that the safe wardrobe is still behind her. Eventually, she meets a fawn, a creature that is half goat and half man. The fawn is carrying an umbrella and several parcels. When it sees Lucy, it is so startled that it drops all of its packages, which that leads us into chapter 2, called What Lucy Finds There. After the fawn recovers from the scare, it asks Lucy if she is a daughter of Eve. Lucy does not understand this question, but she later realizes that the fawn is asking whether Lucy is a human girl. Lucy replies that she is a girl, of course. The fawn introduces himself as Tumnus and asks Lucy how she arrived in Narnia. Narnia, it turns out, is the name of the strange land that Lucy has entered. Lucy is confused and replies that she has come in through the wardrobe in the spare room. Tumnus misunderstands this and thinks that Lucy comes from a city called Wardrobe and a country called Spare Tumnus invites Lucy to his home for tea. Lucy agrees on the condition that she does not stay for a long time, and they travel the path to Tumnus's house. Lucy has a delightful tea with Tumnus. Tumnus serves wonderful food and then plays beautiful music for her on a little flute. Finally, Lucy shakes herself out of her reverie, or dream, and announces that she must go home. The fawn sorrowfully tells her that she cannot go home. When Lucy asks why, the fawn bursts into tears. Lucy comforts him as best she can, and Tumnus tells her that he is crying from guilt. He is a servant of the White Witch, the horrible ruler of Narnia, who has cast a spell over the land so that it is always winter and never Christmas. He has been enlisted to catch any humans he can find and bring them to her. Tumnus does not say what the witch will do with the humans, but we can assume that they will be killed. Lucy begs Tumnus to release her, and he agrees, saying that he had never met a human before and did not know what they were like. Tumnus walks Lucy back to the lamppost at the border between Narnia and the wardrobe door, and they say farewell. And sorry, I have to click on a new tab. Let me scroll. All right, and chapter 3 is called Edmund and the Wardrobe. Lucy dashes out of Narnia and through the wardrobe, excitedly assuring everyone that she is all right. She is shocked when her siblings declare that she has only been gone for a few seconds. She brings them back to look in the wardrobe to show them the strange world of Narnia, but now it is just an ordinary wardrobe. Peter and Susan tolerantly assume that she is just making up stories, but Edmund spitefully torments her about her fantasy world. On the next rainy day, the children play a game of hide and seek. Lucy wants to check and see if the wardrobe really is empty. Edmund peers into the spare room and sees Lucy vanishing into the wardrobe. He follows her into the wardrobe, intending to keep teasing her. But once inside, he finds himself in Narnia. Edmund sees no sign of Lucy, and Edmund is unsure of what to do. Suddenly, a deathly pale woman approaches on a sledge, pulled by white reindeer. She is carrying a wand and wears a fur robe and a crown. The woman stops in front of Edmund, demanding to know what he is. Edmund introduces himself awkwardly. She sternly informs him that she is the Queen of Narnia and that he must address her appropriately. Edmund is puzzled and stammers something incoherently. Chapter 4 was called Turkish Delight. With some prodding, the Queen discovers that Edmund is a human child. Though she had looked stern and threatening to Edmund at first, when she hears that he is a human, she suddenly becomes very attentive and invites Edmund to sit in her sledge under her fur mantle and talk with her. Edmund does not dare disobey her orders. The Queen conjures up food and drink for him, which consists of a hot drink and a box of Turkish Delight, which is a type of flavored gelatin coated in powdered sugar. Like I said, it's almost kind of like a donut. As he eats and drinks, the Queen asks him many questions. Edmund might have been wary of trusting this strange, imposing woman, but he is completely fixated on the sweet food. The narrator explains that the Turkish Delight is enchanted, causing whoever eats it to feel an insatiable greed for more. This sweet dessert compels the unfortunate eater to keep on eating it until he is prevented from doing so, or until it kills him. Since Edmund is distracted by his desire, he does not notice the ominous signs when the Queen interrogates him sharply about his family, particularly his brothers and sisters. She seems intrigued to hear that there are 4 children in his family, 2 boys and 2 girls. Edmund also tells her that Lucy has been to Narnia and met a faun. When Edmund finishes the Turkish Delight, he desperately hopes that the Queen will offer him more, but she does not. Instead, she asks him to bring his brother and sisters to Narnia to meet her. The Queen does not give Edmund an adequate explanation for why she wants to meet them, but she tells Edmund that she will give him all the Turkish Delight he wants if he brings them to her. This is reason enough for Edmund. The Queen sends him back to the lamppost. There, he meets Lucy, who tells him she had been with Tumnus, who is well and has not been punished by the White Witch for his treachery. Edmund asks her for details about the White Witch, and he realizes that the Queen of Narnia is the same person. Edmund, however, is still obsessed with Turkish Delight and rationalizes that the witch and the Queen are not the same entity. Edmund and Lucy go back into the wardrobe to the professor's house. Although Lucy is ecstatic that now Edmund can support her story, Edmund is not eager to look like a fool because of his original skepticism. So, because I'm not sure how these videos are going to be uploaded, well, not how they're going to be uploaded, I'm not sure the time frame, or the time limit, I should say, on how I can upload them, which is probably going to be to YouTube. I'm not sure yet. And I'm realizing that the quality of this video is not that great, so I apologize. So because the video is pretty long, I'm going to separate it into 2. So continue on to the next link for chapters 5 to 7. See you later.